Hey y'all, I'm Rachel, owner and artist at Stellarose Boutique here in Greeneville, Tennessee. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button for me and mash that notifications bell so you won't miss any of my upcoming videos. I have a huge announcement for you at the end of the video that I'm super excited about to share with you. So today I'm just doing a simple hutch. Originally it was given to me about a year ago and I was just gonna make the bottom into a buffet. I would have a before picture for you, but I am notorious for forgetting to take the before picture of the stuff I did, and I wasn't doing videos at that time a year ago. So I don't have that. But this was a very dark brown, almost black in colored finish, and it had like a wax buildup on it from cleaning things on it over the years, or a wax cleaning buildup. Anyhow, so I wanted to combat what could be a future problem and make sure it didn't have any other issues. So I took out my Debbie's DIY Salvation Solution and I gave it a coat of that in the white color so that I wouldn't have any future problems. And then when I was done, I just wasn't feeling it anymore. I just couldn't come up with what I wanted to do for design-wise or what have you not with this piece. So back into the basement it went for 9 months until now. So I'm going to show you in this video decoupage made simple and easy. As well as I get a lot of questions on how do you make black paint look flawless, where it doesn't have any blotchiness or uneven tone. I'm gonna answer that for you in this one too. As well as I used to be scared to use black wax, that I would make it too dirty and I couldn't get it off, or too grungy and I'd ruin the piece. Well, I'm gonna show you how to use the perfect amount of black wax every time on every project. And I'll show you the amount of product that I used at the very end so that you will know about what you will have to order to do for your next project. So come with me and we'll get started. Let's go. I got out my brand new Cling On PS10 brush. It stands for Pointing Sisters. There's a 10 and a 14. This is the smaller of the two. Look how easy it is to get in the corners with your paint, y'all. This is amazing. I'm showing you here, again, how easy it is to get on all the little nooks and crannies. And then I got out my F30, which is my flat 30 brush. It is so easy. The paint just glides on. Guys, these brushes are amazing. Yes, they are a little bit of an investment, but you'll never need any other brush again. Look at this. Watch how simple this is. Look, easy peasy. I love this brush. After I went and painted the marquee on all of the sides that I wanted it red on, I went and opened my can of DIY White Swan and I put that down on the bottom piece here where I was going to decoupage at later on, because I wanted the colors on the paper to pop. If I wanted more of a muted color, I would have gone with a darker color. Nothing better than opening a brand new paint can. Oh, I just love it. I painted the underside of this hutch and the back side of this hutch in black velvet from DIY. I then got out my DIY Crystal Clear Patina. It is our decoupage medium. And if you see where I'm starting here, I make it go one direction and then I spread it out going the opposite direction so that it's an even coat all the way across the surface that I'm starting with. But I don't do the whole surface. I just do a little bit of the first section. Then I applied the paper down, leaving some of it overhang so I can sand off the edges. Then I fold it backwards and then I put a little bit more down, meeting up to where I ended. And then you see how I slide the paper back down, and I'm using a saran wrap on the one side and I'm rubbing it down so it's smooth, and I put a little bit more down here. And then once I get that down and it's even, then I roll the paper down with the saran wrap in my hand so that it's smooth as I'm going. And I go in circles and then I go back and forth. I had overworked it trying to smooth it out with my saran wrap, and I tore a piece of it. And so you see me here tearing a piece of it out of the overhang, and I used that on the piece that I tore on the flat surface by accident. And you can't even tell that I had made a mistake at the end of all of this when it was all said and done. You'll also see me going around the paper, and where there seemed to be pressure points, I tore the edges to relieve that so that it wouldn't wrinkle in the paper. You see how I'm going all the way around? I'm cutting some of it here to relieve that tension in the paper. Once I was done doing that, I got out my second sheet and I put down some more of the crystal clear liquid patina on the edge here. And I did just a little bit, and then I went and took my paper and I matched it up so that there was no seam that you could see between the two papers. And again, you see me putting a little bit of the decoupage medium down and then rolling the paper out a little bit at a time, and then putting more of the medium down and then rolling the paper out. I do this because I seem to have better luck with it being smoother and less bumps and ripples in it than if I were to just put the entire decoupage medium down on the entire surface and then putting the paper down all at one time. You see me here using my saran wrap, making sure that I have good contact between the paper and the decoupage medium. I didn't have any air pockets or bubbles on this piece when I was done because I did that. However, sometimes there has been, and I solved that by poking a little hole with a syringe, and I draw up some of the decoupage medium and I inject it into the bubble and smooth it out. Here I'm using a 320 grit sandpaper block. You'll see my granddaughter dancing in the back. She came with me to the office this day, and I am sanding it off so I have a clean edge all the way around. Here I'm showing you, this is why I left that overhang so I could sand it off all the way around the edge and have a crisp, clean line. I then got out my DIY's Big Top and I gave the top of the decoupage paper 2 full coats. I gave the entire piece 1 coat all the way around. I then painted the back side with black velvet for the back of the hutch on the top and the bottom. When the top of the decoupage paper had dried, I still wanted it to have more of a vintage worn feel, so I got out my 320 grit sandpaper block and I sanded it down really well. And then I gave it a coat, the entire piece, a coat of DIY clear wax. I also use the clear wax if I'm going to use any type of colored wax, because this creates a barrier so that you can go back if you use too much of it and use it as an eraser to take some of it off. It helps to wipe it back and control some of the black wax or colored wax that you use afterwards. One of the other things that I do when I'm using a colored wax, and here I'm using DIY's black wax, after I put the clear wax down as a safety net for myself, is I use it in small sections. So I'll do a little bit first and then I'll wipe it back. And then that way it doesn't dry and it's not too hard to get off. And then if I wipe back too much of it, I can go right back over it and apply a little bit more. You see how I'm working in just small little sections all the way across the top? I did this throughout the entire piece. So using the clear wax as a barrier and a security net, and working with the colored wax in small sections and then wiping it back as you go, gives you the perfect amount of colored wax on every project, every time. I get asked often, how come my black painted piece looks splotchy or uneven? One of my tricks to solve this problem is after I paint something black and I seal it with Big Top, I go over it with black wax. and that makes it look flawless. You see me here installing some hardware and some black pipe on the back of the top of the hutch because I'm going to be using this as a display piece. I found some inexpensive 97-cent knobs at Lowe's, and I put those in the drawers that were in the top part of the hutch. And then my daughter suggested for me to use some bottle top openers for the handle drawer pulls on the bottom, and I really like that idea because it's a unique piece, so it's a unique handle. So I bought those at Lowe's, and I came back and I measured out the center of the drawer, and then I used my drill and I drilled a pilot hole first because I didn't want to crack it when I went to screw it in. I then used my paint to cover the hardware so it blended in the backside. There isn't a surface that DIY paint won't go on. Both of these cans of paint were brand new. I used half of the black velvet and 3/4 of the Marquee. And I used half of the 16 ounces of Decoupage medium, and I used 16 ounces of Big Top. Approximately 4 ounces of clear wax and 2 ounces of black wax were used on this entire piece. If you learned something from today's video, please hit that like button and share it out with all of your friends and family that would enjoy this as well. That helps grow my channel. As soon as we hit 750 subscribers, we're going to have another giveaway, just like we did at 500 subscribers. All of the paint and products used in today's video can be found at stellaroseboutique.co and in both of my store locations at 524 Justis Drive, Greeneville, Tennessee, and my new location inside of the Violet Kingdom Boutique at 222 Collier Drive in Sevierville, Tennessee. I am currently out of stock with this Roycycled decoupage paper. I did get these two pieces from Miss Cassandra at the Pecan Porch. I'll leave her link below in the description box. I do have the DIY paint line, Iron Orchid Designs, and the Jamie Ray Vintage line at the second location. You will also soon find at all 3 locations, I will be the new East Tennessee retailer for the Would You Bend products. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!